everyone, welcome back to the Mind of Interior Designer. Today I've got a local interior designer, Helen Kaufman, here to talk all about her interior design business. Hello Helen.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm all right, not too bad.
I haven't seen you in ages.
No, it's probably been, pre-lockdown, was
Yeah,
it?
I know. That was when you first opened the studio up and then all the madness happened.
And then 6 months later, we had to close it down because of COVID.
Love that.
But we're still here, we're still standing and actually thriving at the minute. So,
no, exactly.
So really good.
You're doing amazing. So I just want you to give everyone a bit about yourself, how you started, the whole journey of you, basically.
Oh, okay, might take a while.
That's fine, I've got all day.
Okay, so basically all through school, I always enjoyed art and design. I never knew what I wanted to be, but I just always pursued the subjects that I liked. So I'd done a fine art degree, and then straight after that I'd done a visual merchandising and promotional design degree as well. So then when I'd done that degree, I kind of got into the interiors a little bit. A local interior designer was looking for a student, and my name was put forward, and she was setting up her own business. So basically I was with her from the beginning, doing all of the interiors, learning on the job, and then just built my way up to head designer. And then 15 years later, I then started, I took the plunge and set up HK Interiors. I had 3 small children at the time. I was still working, and I was doing business plans at 3 o'clock in the morning, getting everything set up, making sure figures would work, would it be a viable business, etc., etc. And then October 2019, HK Interiors was born, and I've never looked back since. I just love the job, and it's even better being able to work for yourself.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
It's just amazing. Really nice. I love it.
I love that story.
Yeah.
So I feel like for you, it's been a long road, and I feel like a lot of people think it will happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't.
No, it doesn't at all. It's just, if you're passionate about a subject or a job, then you've just got to keep going with it. It doesn't happen overnight. I always kind of knew, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, that I couldn't see myself working for a company as such or anything like that, because I'm too creative and I like to follow my own rules, nobody else's. That's a bad thing.
No.
I'm too independent for that. So obviously my previous employer, we're quite the same. So we always bounced off things like that. So when it come to the time for me to just to do it, it was the right time. It took a long time to get here, but you just always know when the right time is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it definitely was the right time for you.
Well, apart from COVID, yeah.
But you're still here, that's the main thing.
I'm still here, yeah.
So you've actually got your own, brick store, so to speak.
Yes.
So you sell all your own products and things like that. So tell everyone a bit about that, what you do, what services you provide, and just everything regarding that.
Okay, so HK Interiors is based on Egbert Road. We are a design sort of retail studio. The studio is full of products, sofas,
gorgeous
wallpapers,
products, may I add?
Lamps, everything to do with your home is in that small shop. I am quite particular in the way the studio is styled. I spend a lot of time in there. It's my sort of own creative little hub. I absolutely love being in there. And we've got people who are coming in, they're looking for wallpaper for the lounge, they're looking for a lamp, they just want something maybe a little bit different to everyone else. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, we offer a home consultation service. So we can come out to, if you've got, maybe a single room, that you're looking for something a little bit different to do, maybe just a fresher pair of eyes, a new opinion, and obviously I can put forward ideas and suggestions that you'd never normally think of yourself. So we do jobs like that, and they start from £95 a room, and then we go up to do a whole house, a whole project. I'm working on a guy, semi-detached house at the minute. He's recently divorced. He wants everything and he wants it all his own stamp. So I'm helping him do that. I've got another couple in Woolton Village that's on a converted barn. So I've been with them since last year when the building work started. I've posted a few things lately about those with the lighting installations and stuff that have been going in. So every project is different. Such a huge wide spectrum of jobs that I do.
Yeah.
Nobody is different. Everyone's treated the same, no matter how big, small your house. It's just a nice varied job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll leave Helen's social so you can follow the journey of that over on your page. Yeah, so that's the thing we were talking a lot about as well. I think there's a bit of a stigma around designers and that only people who are minted, so to speak, can have an interior designer.
Yeah.
And I think that is the wrong, and I think you think the same, like you shouldn't
really
think like that.
Not at all. There is that perception. I still get it now. Not coming into your shop, or you know, and it's just not like that. Or interior designers, I need a fortune, need a lot of money, and you don't. It's just a design service to help you along your way of making sure that you make those correct choices. And paint colours, if you've got a wide or a huge space to fill, you're just doing it the right way. And it's an advisory based service, the consultations. So it's well worth doing. You don't have to spend a lot of money on an interior designer. You can do, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interior designers where you could spend a lot of money. But for me, it's important that it comes across that interior design is affordable. It's just getting it right along the way and making those right decisions.
Yeah. No, it is definitely important, and I feel like as well, as you say, it's just having that other opinion, other eye, that expert help, because in other fields, that's some people need that. So this makes it no other exception. And obviously with COVID happening, a lot of people have looked into the house and thought, oh my God, I can't believe I've been living in this space.
Yeah, because your living space is your home space. Like my home has got to be the way it should. You've got to, how can I explain it? Before I can do other work, my home's got to be sort of organised and done the way I like it, because it's my home. Then I can sit, relax and sort of chill out, and then, I can carry on doing my work. If it's all sort of unorganised or not the way I want it, then it doesn't feel like a home.
Yeah.
Your house should feel like a home. So it shouldn't be the same as everyone else's. It should be you as an individual.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the amount of houses you see that are all duplicated, that needs to stop.
Yeah, it does. And, but people don't have a creative eye. A lot of people, it's not their thing. But obviously, if you get an interior designer, or, you pay for the advisory service or whatever, then you're just thinking a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And it's affordable to do. It really is. It's not trying to get away with that stigma of how expensive it is to have an interior designer. It's not.
It's certainly not. And I think it's an investment, if anything else, because I think what people are willing to pay for extensions and the architecture.
Yes.
And you walk into that extension and it's empty, and it's not worth the money then, because you've paid for this egg. Yeah. And there's nothing inside.
There's nothing in it. It's nothing. Even down to the accessories. Accessories are so important when finishing. And you get to like certain stages where the building's all past plaster ready, then we decorate, wallpaper, not wallpaper, paint, flooring, and then we get like the chunkier pieces of furniture in. And then sometimes it's never finished. They never come back for the accessories to be finished off. Not necessarily my accessories, but if they've already got accessories to use, I would help them position all of that in place. Let's use what they've got, and then I would add X, Y, and Z or whatever. So from start to finish, it's important if you had an interior designer on to just get them involved with the story so far. And then obviously you get to meet some of the workers along the way and stuff. So if you've got any changes to make, they're not how can you put it? I don't like it sometimes if I rock up on site thinking, oh no, she's going to change something now.
Yeah, but that's the best way sometimes, because you get your eye back in there. Because if you leave a project for so long and come back to it, you're like, oh, actually, I want to change that.
But it should have been done this way or that way. So, but no, most of the 90% of the contractors and workers and builders and stuff, they're fine. You just learn to get on with them from the beginning, and you're fine.
And they're all right. So obviously, like being closed for a bit during lockdown and then bouncing back, how have you found it? Would you give advice to anyone? Like obviously having a brick store as well, a lot of pressure under that, like especially in the design. Like
there was, because it wasn't only that obviously the shop was closed. When I'm in there, that's my sort of, as I just said, it's my creative little hub. That's where I get a lot of inspiration from, a lot of motivation from. I'm in there every single day. I'm in 6 days a week. So had that took off, that was taken away as well. So you kind of lose all your your motivation or you and it was hard to keep motivated every single day. So I did a couple of jobs via Zoom and sort of WhatsApp video calls and stuff. So we done the consultations that way, and it was fine to do. But me personally, I like to stand in the space and live and eat and breathe and see the space. So but it did, we got round it, and it did make you think more, well, you had to sort of survive. So it made you think, what else can you do? And I was a little bit, not slow, but with always promoting products on social media. I didn't really do it. So this made me do that a lot more, of putting in what was in the shop. I don't know whether I was not lazy. I just don't know. I just never done it.
It's hard to adjust to think, because social media has become very advanced in the past few years. So it's that working with what you had. I think that's what happened during that time.
Yeah. And then obviously I'm not very technically insane at all. So being sort of along the lines or in with the whole social media, you know, I need help with it.
Yeah, that's allowed. That's good to
you've got to be in there with the younger crowd now. And I'm the next generation. So yeah, it did make you reevaluate everything. But not in a bad way, in a good way too. It made you, at least you know you can. Or I did survive. So you've just got to think differently, I suppose, in terms of business, interior design aside, in terms of business, how are you going to get your business to survive and be sustainable during lockdown? So I did start putting all products on my pages and things, and just selling them, because I don't have a website as yet, because I'm still only sort of year and a half in. So it's on the to-do list, but
that ever to-do list, that never
mine grows, it doesn't ever, don't ever cross it off, but there's more added on. So yeah.
So will we see you on TikTok soon?
No, I don't know. My daughter has a TikTok account. So I might post up on one every now and again, but no, I'm not. I'm not on TikTok, no.
See, social media is a big thing now, isn't it? It is changing. Like, it didn't used to be like that. I'm finding it in the past few years, and then lockdown just skyrocketed, really, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was absolutely crazy. And I think as well, as you were saying before about the Zoom and that become really a must-have for, I think, everyone.
I'd never used Zoom before.
No, same. I didn't even know it was a thing.
And then before I knew it, we were doing quiz nights. My daughters were doing the dance lessons on there. I was doing consultations via Zoom. So I'm not a talk behind the screen person. I'm more of a face-to-face person. But again, you just had to adapt, didn't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, social media is a big thing now, especially for interiors as visual, isn't it? So
I think that's what people love to see. They love to go to someone's page and think, oh, what can you offer me?
Yes.
Like, as if when you go past a shop and you see like the mannequins or the interior set, and you're like, well, what can you offer me for my home?
Yeah.
It's kind of, that's your shop front now, isn't it? The social media screen, which is good and bad, because I'm sure you're the same, put so much pressure on posting, and you're like looking at it after you've posted it for 10 minutes thinking, is that right or wrong? But
I used to be really nervous about the social media side, even about talking on it. And I think it was you who told me,
put my
face on social, and I used to think, oh, I can't do this. I'm not. But now I'm not. I'm not as nervous as I used to be about doing it. Yeah. But you are the face of your business, I suppose, and your company and your brand, and people buy into you. So, and I hope that does come across on social media, that, again, it's not all stiff and stark and expensive. I want my social media to be sort of, for everyone, affordable, a softer approach to interiors, more welcoming.
Yeah, I think you offer that.
Okay. Thank you.
As a viewer. So obviously you do like your designing and things like that. So do you do anything like extra on top of that? Do you do any?
I do. I've done a couple of magazine articles, so they've always had to. It was always trends, sort of parts of the month, I suppose. Different sorts of Valentine's, Mother's Day, those sorts of things. What would you gifty ideas or something a bit different? So I've done a few of those. But I suppose your job doesn't really stop outside just because the shop shuts at 4 or 5 o'clock doesn't mean mine necessarily doesn't stop. As soon as the children are in bed, my work comes back out again. Emails, even at 6 o'clock in the morning, that's what time I'm on my emails from, answering queries, and then you get up and you start your day and getting. But I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
That's like being a boss, though, entrepreneur, never ends. Although, as you say, people think, oh, like logged out. You haven't logged out at all.
Like I am going away next week, but and I haven't been away for a long time. Not far, it's just in the UK, but I'm kind of thinking, giving myself a break, but really, this pad will still be coming with me.
I can totally relate to that.
The emails and all of that will still be having to get done and stuff. But I'll just do a quick hour every morning and of an evening.
You say that. Becomes 2, becomes 3. You're getting told off, you're on holiday.
So yeah, it's just part and part. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't. I like working for myself. I like doing my own thing.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like if you've got it, and you don't want to.
Yeah.
You've got your own way about going. Things.
You've got. And don't get me wrong. If I had to go and work for somebody and work, for a company or whatever, I'd be probably one of your best employees because you do it for your job. But I'd rather do it for me.
Yeah, because I think that as you say, if you're working for someone else, you fall in love with their company and it's not your own. But then when you are your own boss, you're even more in love because that's your thing.
Yeah, because my previous, I worked for her for 15 years and I absolutely loved the journey from start to finish. We went on some adventures here, there and everywhere, buying trips, Paris, Denmark, the works. And it was just all part of the experience. I'd never done any of that before. So now when I do it all myself, it's just, you're doing it, but you've already done it before. So it's kind of just, but you're doing it for yourself. It's a bit, it's different. But I've loved it all, the whole journey. That was all part of becoming who I was today for my business.
Which is important for people because I feel like, as I said before, just so many people think it's just overnight.
It's not. You've got to work hard at it because I finished my fine art degree and then I thought I still don't know what I want to do. I mean, it's like 3 years later, I was like 20, I don't know how old I was. And then
only last year.
And then I done another degree, another couple of years, and it was then that I got put forward then and it was voluntary work experience. So I worked voluntary for a few months, as well as doing my uni work and as well as working in a bar.
Yeah.
So it's probably one of my most stressful times of life because you're doing like 3 things all at once.
Oh my God.
But you do it because if you want it that much, then
put the work in.
And then obviously I got put forward by out of the whole class, out of the teachers put me forward to sort of work alongside an interior designer, and then that's it now. The rest is history.
Yes, Speaking of which, the interior design firm you worked at, we actually crossed paths.
And we did, but my memory is awful. So, but were you in the city centre?
I was 15 and I did work experience in the company that you were working
at. That was Elaine Cunningham Materials, if anyone obviously doesn't know. Sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier.
I was like, you should have to mention that.
Yeah, of course.
But I was 15 and I went and got work experience there, didn't I? For I think it was like a month.
Was I there?
You were on maternity.
Oh, okay.
So then years later, like last year when we met up, I was like, oh yeah, this is Elaine's place. I did work here, and you were like, when? And then we just crossed paths.
And isn't that weird the way we keep coming back in touch with one another?
Things are meant.
It is.
That was when I knew that, like, because when I was in school, I was like, I need to find an interior design place. That was the only place I could find in Liverpool when I was 15, so that was like 8 years ago, that did interior design. Is that not crazy? That was the only person who I could get work experience with.
Yeah.
Isn't that
It's
mad?
not easy to get in work experience with either. It's really hard.
It is.
I'd like to touch upon that maybe somehow, eventually, offering something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always thought about that because even when I left uni, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and then that's why I did another degree and I got put forward. But there are so many people out there who have all these skills, qualifications, and they just don't ever put it into practice. They're not given the chance. But I don't know, maybe that's another avenue to add to the bow. I don't know when that's going to be, but
it's
list. Something. Put that on the to-do list. But I would like to, I don't know, do like an academy or something to help the students who come out of
I feel like
college or uni.
That is amazing because I think that's the difference. Because for me, like going into the industry, it's hard to have the knowledge that you have and the industry knowledge. Like you could have a degree, as you say, but I don't think you get it until you're in it.
Yeah.
Like
you can have all the qualifications in the world, but if you're not sort of I don't know, a warm person in the job, as it were. If you're not adaptable and you can't build up a rapport with a client, it doesn't matter how many qualifications you've got. It's not going to work, is it? So, and the only way you're going to ever do that is by being given the chance to work on site or, you know, work experience. So that is quite important when you're in uni, to get out there and make sure if it's voluntary, it's voluntary. Just get out there and get it on your CV.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's really important, and I think it's important to put yourself out there as well, because I'm sure you, over the years,
I was very nervous over all the time.
Really?
But each time,
you don't come across as
honestly,
nervous.
There's always be something every so often I think, oh, I've never done this before. But just put yourself out your comfort zone and off you go. Just do it. You haven't got a choice. It'll be over in a couple of hours or whatever.
And like this
that's
podcast.
What I was thinking today. I've never done a podcast before. I was thinking, but so, you know, I've done one. I'll have done one by the end of the day.
See, that's the thing. Once you've done it and you've ticked it off the list, there's no stopping you. It's that momentum.
We'll have our own channel next year.
Yeah, me and you, the own podcast channel. Love that. Jacob's made up. No, it's that confidence as well. I think as a designer, do you think that's a lot of the time a key ingredient to being one?
It is. Confidence comes with age, unfortunately.
Oh God, I've got no
as
chance.
it grows. But if you can be as confident as you can from the beginning, as early as possible, and get out there and get as much background, knowledge, experience and skills, then that is only going to help you for future.
Yeah.
So more you do, more confident you become. And it's like a knock-on effect, then the better you get.
What other ingredients you think you need to be an interior designer?
Well, obviously you've got to have an eye for an eye for detail, an eye for creativity. Otherwise, if you haven't got that, then don't. You know but you've just got to have. A lot of it comes with learning on the job as well. I know you've got your qualifications and things, but I've learned so much over going out to different projects, different houses, and now I can go in and know straight away what needs to be done. Whereas maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I didn't know how to do that. Even though I did have 2 degrees. So you need that variation. You need the creativity. You've got to have that sort of that flair for creativity, style, colours, furniture, what's in, what's out. Like you like to do that anyway. You do. So you've got that already. So that's already an advantage, if you get me. Whereas if you're not really into it and you don't feel passionate about it, then don't bother.
Yeah.
Do something that you are passionate about and you love.
Yeah, I think passion is, I know, like, as well, a lot of people who've had on the podcast so far, that is it, passion.
It's passion.
Because, as you say, you are opening your own business. If you've got no passion, it will go.
You've got to love what you do, whether it's interior design, I don't know, a golf shop or anything all different, you know what I mean? I don't know, it's such a bit, chef, there's so many different things. But as long as you love what you do, then you'll work all night till 3 o'clock in the morning to meet deadlines or to do business plans for it. If you want it bad enough, then you'll get it. Yeah, and that's what you've got to have, that passion, motivation, and that drive to do it. And I just feel like now because I have set up my business and things, I'll try anything now. I'll do it all. So
that's good, though, to have that.
Yeah.
Do you think you would have, like, looking back now, thought how life was now, like in terms of having your own business, or do you think you wanted that deep down but you just didn't know which avenue, and it sort of presented itself?
It did present itself, because obviously I was an interior designer, then I had to take a couple of years off while I had children and stuff. So now they're getting older and a little bit. It's me being able to have that time more to dedicate to the business. Whereas if I'd have done it a couple of years ago when the children were only younger, then your mind isn't as focused on it because you're still doing X, Y, and Z as playing mum and stuff. So it's a challenge, but it presented itself at the right time, the business, and I took it with both hands.
As they say, what's meant to be.
It was meant to be, and I wasn't letting that chance by. No way. So
well, I just want to touch on that as well, because obviously, as you say, you took some time out and then went back to it.
Yes.
So what would you say to anyone who's like maybe in that bit of I wouldn't say you were in a rut or anything, but some people are in a rut.
I was.
And want to be like.
I was in a bit of a rut, and to be honest with you, I'd lost a lot of confidence as well, because you're at home being like mother hen, every day. Your main priority is feeding your children, making sure the dinner's on the table, for the kids, everyone's well fed, clothes are washed, ironed, there's no sick anywhere, that sort of thing. And that becomes your bubble. Go in the park, you might meet your friends once every 2 weeks or something like that. And that's your life, and it goes over so quickly when the children are young. So when it became time for me to kind of, I went back part-time. I was missing it all a lot, but I'd lost a lot of confidence in it, because you think because you're not doing it every day, you feel like you forget it all and you've lost it all. So I went to a company. Am I allowed to, I don't know if you have to cut this. Am I allowed to mention it? Women's organisation? Yeah, about that. Okay.
No, that's good, because they'll be made up for the promotion.
Right, okay, we might have to chop this out.
We won't.
I don't know. So I went to, I got in touch with a company called the Women's Organisation, and they are so helpful. They put me on a confidence building course. They helped me do all my business plan for my business. They got me a business loan, everything. So the first step was going to these and if you have to after some of the questions were like, what skills do you have about yourself? And I'd be sat there in front with a pen and paper in front of me thinking, I've just had 3 children, I'm out of motherhood, I'm coming out of motherhood, I'm trying to get back into it. I don't know. But they were there on the course to help you draw all those skills out. So by the time I left, I had a big page full of everything.
Yeah, you had one thing and then you had like 30, I'm selling myself.
They're really good with sort of knowing your worth, getting that worth out of yourself. And then that followed on then to doing the business plan, adapting it all, getting that all passed, getting my business loan, and that's it. I'm away now. And I'm still under the Women's Organisation as well. They're really good, really helpful.
I rate the Women's Organisation. I went to them during lockdown.
Oh, good.
To build my confidence a bit. So I do rate them.
Yes. They're brilliant, really helpful. Yeah, I had a friend actually, going a bit off track now, and she messaged me last week. She's starting up like this gym clothing business, and she was actually sorry she rang me in the end. I was like, "Have you done this? Have you done that?" Anyway, I put her in touch with the Women's Organisation. She's with them now, doing it all, setting up a business.
No, I do think they're brilliant.
Yeah, if I can help anyone, I'll help anyone. I'll do it.
Exactly.
It is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. What was I going to say then about that as well? Yeah, confidence. I think as well, like going off from that, when you like are out of it for so long and you think, oh, I've lost it. Yeah. When you get back into it, you're like, oh, I actually haven't. Did you find that? Because you think, God, I've been out of it. But as soon as you start
you just forget it, but it all comes back quite easily in the end. You think, I probably start to overthink. Well, I am a bit of an overthinker. So you overthink what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. Instead of just doing it and going back there and should have done it like months before, but I didn't. I just left it a little bit longer and then I went back. Yes. Yeah. So. No,
but I do think it's like that whole imposter syndrome. Am I good enough? Should I start this? What if it goes wrong?
So much pressure. You should just try it anyway. If you fail, get up and do it again.
I'm the worst for that though. I overanalyze anything before doing it.
I'm the same.
You regret it, don't you?
I'm the same. And now I'm just a bit like, well, sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. Not within people's jobs, I don't mean that. But I mean like sometimes in life, or I just wing it. I just think, well, if it doesn't happen or work, well, we'll try again tomorrow. It's a different way. I just wing it.
Yeah, that's definitely confidence though. I need to have more of that attitude towards life, honestly.
Yeah, what's the plan? There isn't one. Just go with it.
Yeah. I love that. That needs to be me because I overanalyze situations.
Yeah.
It needs to stop.
Yeah.
So obviously when it comes to design, you obviously have loads of clients. Do you have a statement style, or do you find working what the client wants?
I don't have a statement style. You can't put that on anybody. You've got to, that's down to you as an interior designer to really be able to read your clients, what they like, what they don't like, colours, are they bold, are they, are they not, if they just want neutral sort of, all of that is when you go out on that consultation. You've got to withdraw so much information within that space of time, and an hour should be well enough if it's just a sort of a one-room consultation to be able to build up what they like and what they don't like, and then you invite them back into store, and we start to sort of have a bit of a brainstorming session. So I will put forward what I think they would like, or ideas of what they would would go within the room. Yeah. And sometimes they're like, oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, most of the time they're like, I love it. We always have like a bit of a plan B. but they'd sort of look and you don't know what the look and you don't know what they're going to say. So that's sort of, but they love it.
Don't you find doing that though for people I've found in the past that they're like, oh, I wouldn't have ever gone for that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Yeah. That's what you're there for. You're giving that extra vision that
you're giving the opinion of and something that they would never think of themselves. So that's what you're there to do. You're there to give them options that they would never normally dream of. So,
which is why we're important. Designers are important. But going back off that with the whole saying about like the stigma of it being for the rich and stuff like that, I had Jess on the other day for a podcast, and we were talking about how these higher up, like looked upon interior designers do have a statement style, and sometimes you find these people are going there for that. But she was saying, the likes of us who want to be for everyone.
Yes.
We, as you say, do what they want.
Yeah.
So do you feel like that's a good, bad thing? What's your opinion on that? It's a hard question.
It is a hard question.
Debatable one.
If people like that style and they want to go for that look, then that obviously that style will be adapted to their home. So it's not always going to be sort of 100. You could tie in key pieces or the sort of funky pieces, or there are certain designers that I love. Jimmy Martin, he's one of them, and he creates these lovely, really abstracty, funky pieces. He upcycles all his own stuff and paints them, and I love the pieces. And I just think, wow, you can put one of these here or there or whatever. So again, it's about each person's their own individual person. I would never try and put a style on anyone.
Yeah.
But I understand why people go to certain people because they want that look in their house.
Yeah. It's a bit like, Sophie Patterson Interiors. Yes. She's very like that.
Yes.
I find her designs are stunning.
Amazing.
But very, I don't want to say samey because they're absolutely not.
No.
But she does have a statement style.
It's a neutral palette of textures with a hint of...
whatever.
Yeah, X, Y, and Z. But do you know what? Our interiors are absolutely amazing, and I love them, and I would have my house running along that sort of neutral palette. But I think I would have a little bit more in certain areas where I could get away with being a little bit more quirky than I would have that. But that's just my own personal choice. But
like I think as well, like for me, if that was I'm like you, I love the neutral palette. Like I'd have my house at Sophie Patterson Interiors vibes.
Yeah.
But I do love that little funky piece. And the problem with that is if my client wanted to be crazy and wacky, we suit for that.
You've got to do that. You've got to cater for them. Yeah. So, and sometimes I'm quite sort of, I'd like them to push themselves to have those little bits of it. I'm not saying cover your whole room in something mad or whatever, but if you can get away with a quirky little area, even in your downstairs toilet or, your office or whatever, going for the quirkiest wallpaper you could ever find, put it up there.
Yeah.
Love it.
And as well, I think finding these pieces and you're giving them to them, they're like, oh, do you know what? I didn't even think of that. I love that.
And I get a lot of that, which is what I like.
Yeah, that's the best bit. And then when it's done and you look back and you think, and they're like, oh, I didn't think that'd work, and it has, and you're like, told you. There's nothing better than that.
It is, and that's the rewarding part about the job, knowing that they sit in their homes of a night, knowing that the house has gone from a house to a home in the style that they love, and they love sitting within their home space.
Yeah.
That's what your home should be.
Exactly. And as well, I didn't even mention before when you were talking about what you're offer, you've got your own candles. Don't be leaving that out.
I was looking, because obviously candles do go with interior design really well. And last year, actually it was before lockdown, I was thinking about going with a brand of somebody to put in the shop. And then I just thought, you know what? No, I'm going to do my own.
Why not?
So I worked alongside this lovely candle designer, candle maker, came up with, obviously just kept it all simple with the H logo, and they just sell really, because they're good candles. They're not, it's all soy wax vegan, they last for hours, good quality candles. People come in for the gifts all the time.
I think a smell makes a room. I think, as you were saying before about accessorising, I don't just think it's about looking at something. I think it's the experience. It's like when you go into a restaurant and that smell of the restaurant,
restaurant or the music or the whole ambience.
So I think candle scent is important. So were you really particular in was? I remember speaking to you about this actually. You were like,
I was there for a long time. I only picked 4 fragrances in the end because I'm really funny about smells and air fresheners and things. I don't like them.
Only like yours.
People off. I just sometimes they give me headaches as well.
Yeah.
And they're too strong or they're too, you don't know, they're just really off-putting. So to me, that was really important. I've got one diffuser in the shop and I only sell one fragrance because that's all I'll have.
What fragrance is it?
It's called Fresh Fig and it's lovely. It's really nice. But all the others are just too overpowering. They're too perfumey. They're too, I don't know. This is just, and I get a lot of compliments on that. Sometimes, though, obviously during the winter, I'll have the candles lit in the shop as well. And people are like, what's that smell? So they're the ones. So yeah, I got 4 fragrances for the candles in the end. And I'll just stick to those 4 for now because they're nice. They're all quite different.
Yeah.
But they're all quite palatable as well.
I've got one of them and I can
say
they're
nice,
amazing. Yeah. So if anyone wants to get you a present for Christmas, make sure it's not a candle or a diffuser. Only yours.
Yeah, kind of smell it first.
So as well, I just want to ask, because I always ask everyone, like, what advice would you give to anyone starting a business, whether that be design, whether it not be, anything that you could go back and tell yourself, anything at all would you give to people?
Just start. Don't dilly-dally around or wait around and think, I can't do this, I can't do that. If it fails or if you put the business plan together and it all goes wrong, scrap it and start again. Give yourself a month off, do it again. Just always keep coming back. Do not give up.
Yeah.
If you want your own business bad enough, then you'll
just go for it.
You'll go for it. Just don't give up. Just keep going. Keep at it.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to fail.
What if people are afraid to fail?
Well,
you've got no chance.
Yeah. You just gotta have a bit of faith in yourself. You've got to believe in yourself as well. And I wish I'd have told myself that so much earlier on. That you're capable of so much more of what you think you can't do.
Yeah.
You are.
I love that.
Yeah.
I feel like I needed that motivational speech. So at the end of our podcast session, we have a little segment. I know you've been a bit stressed out about your answers for this. We have our guilty pleasures and our holy shows. So is there something, a guilty pleasure that you think, I shouldn't like it, but I do? What's yours?
No, my guilty pleasure, well, I don't know if this is the right or it's not really a wallpaper. A lot of people don't like wallpaper.
Oh, really? I love wallpaper.
Yeah, well, they should.
Yeah.
So I have wallpaper. There's on every wall in my house, but for many different reasons. So it's
tell people them reasons. I'm sure they want to know at home.
Because each room might be different, but it can be adapted to so many areas, not even just on your walls, on your ceilings, downstairs toilets, be as quirky as possible. People underrate and underestimate the effects of wallpaper. And that's my guilty pleasure. Like, I've had a lot of clients who would go out to and they're like, don't do wallpaper, it's all paint. And I'm like, okay, this is me taking it all in on the initial consultation. Anyway, I might drop in the odd hint that I'm going to show them a couple of wallpapers. You're like that with the wallpaper books. Are you sure? You might drop in a few hints with the wallpaper books that I'm going to show them when they come back into store for the presentation.
Yeah.
And you know what? I was saying, doing this guy's house, and he's like, no wallpaper, Helen, no wallpaper. I was like, okay. Now he's having it on all his walls in his master bedroom. In one of his other... They're all lovely planes, by the way. They're not like it's not all mad stuff. Yeah. So people underestimate wallpaper, and that's it's not, whether it's a guilty pleasure or not, I love wallpaper. In all ways, different shapes, formats.
I think as well, wallpaper, the texture, the dimension, it offers different value to a space.
Yeah, exactly. I've got all that there. As I say, it's planes, textures, bold patterns. They just add a blend of sort of colours, textures, depth to any room.
Do you find as well, do you start off sometimes with the wallpaper? Because I'm guilty for that. Like, if I see a gorgeous wallpaper, I'm like, this room needs to revolve now around this wallpaper.
So you pick your paint colour, if you're going to have it in certain areas. Then you pick the wall colour, the paint colour, then your curtains to go with that, and then obviously your key pieces of furniture.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely build a room around wallpaper.
Yeah, I do. I'm like you. That must be my guilty pleasure. I love wallpaper, and there's nothing better than going through a gorgeous wallpaper book or getting one delivered.
That's my own worst. I can't see representatives in the shop because I say I'm not spending any more money now on books. But I've just, every time people come in, I get all the new books in, all the new collections. I've just had the shop redecorated again with wallpapers. Anyway, that's all. That'll all be up and coming soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, wallpaper all day long.
Yeah, no,
but if you don't like wallpaper, I'd never push it on you.
Yeah, she says, bringing all the wallpaper books, carrying hundreds of them. So, what is your holy show? Something you absolutely hate?
Right, I might offend quite a lot of people.
I feel like everyone does when they do their holy show.
I don't, it is what it is. I don't like grey.
Oh, like a bullet.
Don't get me wrong. I like it in certain places, certain areas. I'm not, I do have a few grey clothes and stuff as well, but it's this grey trend. It's got to be starting to it's got to freeze over soon.
I feel like what you mean is grey on grey on grey on grey, all the same
grey on
shades.
Grey.
That is the problem.
We'll add some grey furniture. We put a grey rug in. We'll even add a grey lampshade. Oh, it kills me.
If someone says I want grey everything, you're like, oh gosh.
Yeah. Even the wallpaper. Don't get me wrong. If people want that within the house, then I'll advise that. That's not a problem. If they love grey, I've done lots of grey houses. Yeah. It's fine. But my own personal thing is I don't like it. I don't like that grey on grey. I'm not anti-grey altogether. Yeah. I'm really not. There are some really nice tones of greys and palettes when you build it up with different sorts of neutrals and tones. It works really well.
Yeah.
It's just this overkill. Everyone's gone for this overkill of grey, and I can't wait for it to go away.
I think it's going, to be fair. I haven't seen it in a while.
But I thought it would, like, sort of last year or the year before. It's still there. Everyone's still ordering it or doing.
But as you say, it's like the right grey.
It's grey done in the right way.
Yeah. And that's with any colour in saying that, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's a neutral tone at the end of the day, but it's got to be done the right way, not the wrong way.
That's why you need an interior designer, an interior designer to do it right.
No one's ever going to come in now and ask me for grey, ever.
Everyone's going to hate it. And as well, we answer someone at home's questions.
Okay.
I've obviously asked on Insta. I'll get them up now.
You've got to pre-warn me about these questions, Ali.
No, we'll answer them on the spot.
I'm only joking.
Oh, fab. Okay, this is a good one for us, actually. So Alison said, I've just bought a new build. What staple pieces can you recommend to make it a home? So a new build, sometimes I do find is difficult because you are presented with an empty can, so to speak.
Yeah.
As where you mightn't have all on accessorising. So what would you say is a staple?
Staple pieces, I would, apart from obviously your obvious furniture of sofas and stuff like that, staple pieces, I think plants are underestimated. Get a nice huge big plant in the corner. If you've got these new builds now, they tend to have like one big open plan living area, don't they?
Yeah.
So it's always sometimes it can be a bit white and it can be a bit cold and it can be a bit,
on people.
So staple pieces are like, don't be afraid to sort of go for big pieces in the corner, big floor lamps or big sort of plants. They just add that element of colour too.
Yeah.
The greenery. And then if it's overlooking the garden, then you bring in the garden from outside in.
Exactly.
And accessories, staple pieces for the cushions are one.
Yeah.
They're the perfect way to bring colour, texture, pattern into your home.
What about like console tables and things, anything like that?
Yeah, they are. Again, it's style, it's what your preference is, isn't it? So there's a million different console tables, different finishes, different colours, different styles. So it would just depend on the house again. So if they've already got existing pieces, then you'd want to build upon that and around those pieces, I suppose.
Yeah, I think people get afraid as well when they get a new home to think, I've got to start fresh. But sometimes if you've got them nice pieces, you can just build off that.
Yeah, they bring it along with them, add that into the home, live with it for a week or two, move in, and then start to feel the space and know what the space is and what you kind of want from it.
Yeah.
And then obviously I can come in and help, I'd suggest X, Y, and Z. Or even the layout. I went out to a couple in Wallasey a couple of weeks ago, and they were really struggling with the whole layout of this room, and it was big kitchen, living room, dining room. And as soon as I walked in, and we ended up changing the dining room round the whole way. And they were like, never thought of this before, and they absolutely loved it.
See, that's just having the extra eye.
Just doing it, yeah. And you're like, never thought of that. They might have changed it back now, but...
Like, oh God, she's gone, change it back, wait.
But they loved it, so yeah.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, yeah, that's great advice anyway for our viewer at home.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you so much for being on today's show.
Oh, thank you for
And
having
if
me.
you want to follow Helen, I will leave all the details below for everyone to follow. Yeah, so yeah, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Ali. Lovely to see you
And
again.
you.